Hi guys, and welcome to Coloring with Vicky. Today I will attempt to wrap up my forest girl picture. You can find two previous videos of this page on my channel. We did these two parts as a live stream, and now I'm gonna do a video, a color along video for this page. And previously we used the Winsor Newton watercolors. Today I'm gonna switch to Neocolors and finish everything with the Neos. You can find the description, in the description, all the supplies and brushes and colors I used for today's video. So make sure to check that out, and let's get started. So I already made a few color combinations. We are going to do the umbrella now, and what I did, I mixed crimson alizaron with indigo blue. Here I added crimson alizaron to my gloss sheet and also some white. So this is where we are right now. And yeah, let's get started. So I'm using my Da Vinci brush, and I'm gonna go in with crimson alizaron first. And I will add some relaxing music when I'm not talking or explaining things. We will use the heat brush to the heat brush. Oh my god, the heat gun. What is a heat brush? So I have my heat brush ready as well. Feel free to turn your page. For me, it's easier to get into those lines and make the the brush strokes more organic on the page, following the lines and shapes. So feel free to do that. And make sure you have enough amount of pigment on your brush. And I would recommend always choosing a smaller size brush when you start and you're not sure which brush to use. Start with a smaller one or a thinner brush, and you will see for yourself if the length of the brush is enough or if you need a thicker one. I like to take my time when watercoloring. I don't mind using a thinner brush. This is our base. Always dry your layer before going on another one, but before putting on another layer. Make sure it's nice and dry. Okay. Putting more pigment on my sheet. Or you can also go in straight from your crayon. You could use the end if you want to work with a creamy, very intense color or pigment. I love to use the end of my crayon. It just needs a little bit of time to get the color. Awesome. I hope you are doing good and that you had a lovely Halloween, autumn season. I have to tell you, I'm really enjoying autumn so far. It has been a very crazy month, October. I'm so relieved that the renovation work outside our house are done. It lasted more than a month. We got the whole house newly painted. And also all the pavements were redone. The roof was also redone, and the fence was redone as well. So that was quite stressful with a 4-month-old baby. So I'm just really grateful that A, it's over, B, it is done. It became very lovely. So, but despite that was stressful, but we also got to go on a lot of walks with the baby. I went with him walking daily at around noon. And you know, the sun was shining mostly all October, and I really enjoyed, you know, seeing how the leaves and nature changed day by day. I saw the leaves turning yellow, red, brown, and you know, as I said before, nearly every day it was very sunny. So it was very relaxing. And while, you know, we went for an hour walk at least every day. Of course, there were some days when it was, you know, cold and then we didn't, but mostly we went. And we live in the in the suburbs, in a green area. So it's really nice, and there is a nice long pavement where we live, so we can nice long route which takes exactly an hour to take back and forth, and there are lots of nice green areas, and I always listen to something while going on a walk when the baby fell asleep. A moment, I'm just concentrating of what I'm doing. It's done. Okay. Okay, now I'm mixing white and crimson alizaron. Oops, that's not enough white. Oh yeah, there you go. So I just created some highlights here and here. So going in again with crimson alizaron with a heavy pigment. And there was a funny story. So what I did, I'm currently listening to more than one podcast. I'm listening to Mugglecast, which is, you know, a Harry Potter podcast. It's very entertaining. I love listening to the guys, and it has been going on for more than 50 years. I will put in the picture of them, of the cast here. So this is the cast I'm talking about, Mugglecast. You can listen to it on Spotify or any other, you know, broadcasting app or podcast app, whatever you are listening your podcast on. This is one. I'm also listening to Freaky Folklore. I will put in all the links in the description below so you can find them. And that one has some very creepy shows. It is all about discovering the myths behind urban legends, monsters, like vampires, Wendigos. So it's basically talking about all these creepy creatures like ghosts, the Banshee. The Banshee podcast was awesome. That is one of my favorite shows from then, and it scared the crap out of me. So beware. And it's basically presenting the history behind, for example, the Banshee, what myths are based upon it, and it also tells you about occurrences, and also it ends with a very creepy story, and the lady is making a great job, reading those stories to us. So I highly recommend that podcast if you like listening to scary stuff. And I'm also listening to That's Strange podcast, which is basically three guys discussing terrifying supernatural stories, also murder cases, haunted houses, haunted places, and they are discussing what the story, for example, they are having more than one podcast about Ed and Lorraine Warren, the Eliza Lamb case, Cecil Hotel. I listened to their latest Halloween podcast, which was about a guy living in a haunted house, and it was so creepy. Oh my gosh. And I like that they approach everything skeptically, so they are not like, we believe everything, that every ghost story is true, but they are having a really interesting discussion about all these topics, and I like that. I like to stay skeptical and listen to more than one opinion when it comes to supernatural stuff. And I believe in the supernatural and in ghosts. And I like a good scare every now and then. And it is the season, right? So why not? So I recommend that podcast as well. And another one is Unexplained Encounters, which are stories retold with music and sound effects. So it can be very creepy. And I was listening to some demonic story and we were walking and it was pretty creepy. I was freaked out, pretty much freaked out, and we were walking in the middle of the street and we were walking past the house, and suddenly all I saw was two yellow eyes lurking in the shadows, and it was a dog's head peeking out below the fence. There was a big hole, and it looked like the dog was about to get out from below the fence, and he was very scary and he looked like a wolf. So I nearly got a heart attack. Oh my god. I was so freaking scared, guys. I nearly screamed. I was so sucked into the horror story and all the creepy sounds coming from my earbuds, and then suddenly there was this wolf looking with his yellow demonic eyes at me, and I was like, oh my gosh, I need a break. So that day I just switched off my phone, the podcast, and I was okay, no more podcast for you today, young lady, because you will scream your head off in the middle of the street. So yeah, that was it for that day. Adding some more of the of the highlights here. So that was pretty funny. It wasn't funny back then, but yeah, I creeped myself out very nicely. Have you done anything like that? I'm sure you did. We all have, like, you know, some crazy, scary stories. I was like, oh my god, is this wolf or dog about to attack me? It was very scary. You know, when you don't expect to see anything and then there are just two yellow, scary eyes watching you from the shadows. It was like, whoa. Okay, so that was my scary encounter for October. I freaked myself out. Okay, so as I told before, I mixed crimson aubergine here. No, what did I do? Yeah, I did that. We have crimson alizaron, sorry, and we have indigo blue mixed here. Just adding more of the red, and we are going to do the shading now. Oh yeah, hi. Great, great color. I also ordered a lot of diamond paintings. I'm addicted. Yeah, I'm officially addicted. I got diamond paintings from Diamond Art Club and Dreamer Designs. Okay, what do you say? Oh, that's great. I have one more creepy story for you. This was about 6-7 years ago, and we just moved in a flat with my boyfriend and with my current boyfriend back then, and it was a flat of my friends. And what happened was my friend's grandma died before we moved into that flat, because it was the grandma's flat. I think you all know where I'm going with this. And the thing is, bless her, my friend lost 3 family members that month. We moved into that flat. Her mother, her aunt, and her grandmother passed away. All 3 of them in just a few weeks' time, which is, you know, I believe really creepy in itself, but you know, things like that happen. It doesn't have to be creepy, but yeah, it still is. And all 3 women including my friend, used to live in that apartment. We can say she grew up in there. And when we decided to move in, you know, we weren't really concerned about it. I wasn't giving it much thought, you know, like, oh my God, there should be ghosts in there or something like that. I wasn't concerned at all. And this apartment is kind of creepy. It is a big one. It has big windows, and the whole house or apartment is surrounded by big trees. So even during the day, it's pretty dark in there. There is one room which has quite a lot of sunlight, but there are two other rooms which are completely or pretty much, you know, dark. During the day you have to use a lamp, and even the kitchen is dark, and the hallway as well. And one thing that I found really creepy in that apartment, there were many others, but one was the hallway, which had black tapestry or wallpaper on it. And I remember the first thing we did was to get rid of all the wallpaper in the apartment, because it was, you know, kind of, yeah, creeped out. It wasn't nice to look at black wallpaper, if you know what I mean, or like dark brown old wallpapers. I don't know why, but it was creeping me out, that stuff. Okay, so I would say the umbrella is done. Maybe I will go in with some more white. And what happened is, when I didn't realize at first, just in retrospect, that it was pretty cold. I always felt cold in that apartment, and sometimes I had shivers, you know, running up my spine, but I wasn't really concerned about that. And one night I was all alone in the apartment. I was sitting in the living room and I was reading, and there was no TV, no noises whatsoever, just, you know, natural noises from the street, and the lights were on, and I was just reading on the sofa. And what happened, in front of the sofa there is the TV with the cupboards, and above the TV there are books shelved. And for whatever reason I looked up from my reading. Oops. Yep. And I will show you what happened. Oh, maybe it's easier if I drew it. So much for coloring. So here is the shelf. And some of you may know this story because I have told you a few times on stream. No, that's not right. So the books were like, you know, shelved like this. And what happened? I was looking up and one book just flew over the other side, you know, like it was like this and then it was like boom. And it was so creepy, and the first thing I did, I just started to talk out loud, and I said, if another book uh, will, you know, turn like that, I just said that. And in that second, another book turned as well. You know, not like one and then another. There was like 10 seconds between the two happenings. So this happened, you know, I got a shiver. Oh my God, what happened? And I said out loud, I hope the other one won't, yeah, that was what I said. I hope the other one won't, you know, fall as well. And it did. Just after I said that, it just went and I screamed so loud. I was so scared. Oh my God. Like I was murdered or something, because it was just so unnatural to see a thing like that. You know, correct me if I'm wrong, but books, even if they are, you know, shelved like this way, the best thing that could happen is that they just, you know, they just slide. Books don't do stuff like that when shelved. Boom, right? So that's just not how gravity works. Yep. So I believe there was the grandma or someone hanging around that day. Yeah. I was creeped out. I couldn't wait for my boyfriend to arrive. What do you think about this? And the really strange thing about that was that, you know, I'm not a person who talks out loud to themselves and I felt that urge to communicate, like there was someone there. And it's not something I, you know, we usually do. So that was really strange. Okay, so now to the even more shadowed area of the umbrella. That was really creepy. And now I will color, so we will get stuff done here. And yeah, and after a year we moved out of there. And not because of, you know, potential ghosts. My my friend ended up selling the apartment, so we moved out. Okay. Again, crimson alizaron and indigo blue. Jitka? All right. How does this look? And now I used a darker shade of indigo blue and crimson alizaron. Good, let's go on. Oh wait, just gonna add more of the mix here. There you go. And I will add charcoal gray as our darkest color here. Good. Okay, and now to the hair and the squirrel. I'm gonna use saffron for the squirrel and the dog. There is a leaf on his cute, on his nose. All right. Now I'm using English red. and I'm mixing it with saffron. English red. And heat gun. I will get in back with a black pencil for the stripes in his fur. And now to the little dog. I'm gonna use saffron again. I'm adding some vermilion to his cheek. No, it should be, yeah, vermilion. That wasn't vermilion, okay. Here. Vermilion and white. And his paws will be white as well. Okay. Okay, now to English red. Adding some to his spot. Yeah. Okay, now the hair. What do we need for that? Burnt sienna and charcoal gray. Yep. Or Toledo brown, yeah, Toledo brown, burnt sienna. What is this? And charcoal gray. switching to my 3/0 size Da Vinci brush. Wait, no, I'm still using my size 2. I'm gonna add a base. So again, I'm using burnt sienna and a very watered down pigment. All right. Now I'm switching to 3/0 brush, and let's get this party started. So I'm going in with curls, curly wavy movements, as you can see, from top to bottom. Hair is one of my favorite things to color, watercolor. I love it. Heat gun. Gonna need more burnt sienna. Good. Next up, Toledo brown. And we are building up our layers step by step. Okay, and now I will mix Toledo brown and the charcoal gray. And see what happens. Nice. And there we have our hair color. this is how it looks so far. And last but not least, I'm adding more charcoal gray to the ends and here on top. All right. Okay. Now to the skin. I will use flash. Oops. She has a very pale skin color, so we will work with that. I will mix the flash with my white and crimson alizaron colors here. Just add a nice and healthy pink complexion to the skin here. Oops. There you go. Great. Adding more of the pink color here and flash. Yeah, I love this color. Awesome. I'm gonna add some of the pink here too. Yep. Yeah, the details will be done with pencil as always, because it's too tiny to attempt it with watercolor, for me at least, as with the pieces left from the umbrella, these will be done with pencils as well. And yeah, we can go on. The socks will stay white, so I'm adding white first. And I will use light gray for shading. Now the dress. I will use olive brown. With white. Okay. So that's a nice color for a coat. Ooh, there is still some hair left. Oh gosh. Of course there is. We will go back to it later. That's a nice thing about watercolor. You can go over with any color, especially darker color. You might not be able to do that with pencils, so yep. Okay, he's gone. Oh, wait. Good. Okay.